What's up, Trae? It's so cozy in here.
Yeah, you know.
Nicer than my house.
There we go. There we go. You know, the vibe is really trying to give, hey, be comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Come and chill out. So glad that you were able to make it today. And thank you, because you're always finding ways to utilize your talent to help others. Tell us a bit about what you've been up to since I caught up with you last.
Oh my gosh. Well, you guys sent me off on the road. I went on tour. It was great. I learned so much. I went on a tour that was the longest tour I've ever done. Saw so much more of the country than I've ever seen. And it was me doing a solo set with my piano. I felt like we were doing something back, like a 1960s circuit, like just sitting in the van, me and the keys and a whole bunch of guys. And I got to open for this amazing artist, Josiah Johnson, who started a band called Head in the Heart. So the fans out here are really loving, generous people that really want to cry. Just my type of crowd. I like a cry. But I learned so much, and I came back home, and just I think last week, yeah, we got back last week, and I mean, social media is crazy, right? Because you can feel everything that's happening at home with this like post-COVID digital era where everything kind of still feels alive on my phone, even though I'm like, you know, miles and miles and yards and forever away from home. And I see so much happening. I see a lot of disparity happening at home, confusion. I see a lot of forgetfulness about the lessons learned in the protests. And I saw a lot of friends just kind of fighting to figure out how to have a voice and be a part of the community when there was so much going on. I definitely saw Omari online standing with I think how many was that, hundreds, thousands of students that were protesting downtown. So that made it a mark regionally where we were as well as nationally. And I saw a lot of my friends that are teachers, music educators. That's my family, like my friends are music educators, freaked out, stressed out. And I saw again like this silent cloud that just happens with racial divide in our community, particularly, where if anything seems to be segmenting or anything seems to be divisive, people just get real quiet and go back in their houses. I was home to see friends of friends be murdered in South Seattle. And the repercussions of that being a quietness in the community and then a press from the community. I mean, it's crazy what your phone can do. So I'm out here on the road with some new friends, and I feel like my energy is always to be working at home. Like that's just like how I am. That's how we are, obviously. So we got back. We had a whole bunch of merch, a whole bunch of gear, a whole bunch of lessons. And I was like, what can we do to just be a part of something, even if it's a small impact, you know, just to say something. And so I was really grateful to just be able to reach out to you guys here at Converge and just say, hey, like I have an idea. Reached out to our friends at the Beloved campaign. Honestly, I just reached out to them because I was like, I want to do something. I don't know what to do. What can we do? So what we decided to do was to reach out to a group of community members, South Seattle companies and nonprofits. And we asked them, hey, can you just donate a couple of things? We want to give back to the families that are affected by this gun violence. So me and my tour mate, Josiah Johnson, we brought together some resources to create some specialty merchandise, reached out to just friends, the homies. It was like, what can you do in a week, right? Reached out to my friends at QED Coffee, my friends at Farm Boy Bites, friends at Abbey Arts. As you know, I'm a huge fan of Abbey Arts. My friends at SMASH, Seattle Musicians Health Fund, and a couple of other businesses, and was like, what can we put together? So we made some packs of amazing gifts that we are going to be selling at this show. And all the proceeds are going to go to families affected by gun violence in our community. You know, what is money? Like, what is money? I mean, it's like not much. Really, I think for me, I feel like money is more like a conversation or a promise or a vote of confidence more so than something that really changes lives, especially at this level. But we're hoping that this opportunity to be with our friends at STG, Seattle Theater Group, at the Neptune, will just help us get these eyes and these friends that are supportive of this type of music and this type of artistry and storytelling, and get people to buy these great, beautiful packs in support of our community. And some might call it reparations, and some might call it indemnification, and some might call it just giving on a Giving Tuesday. But regardless, I don't care so much about how much we can do as long as we're doing it. And I love to see people partner and be a part of doing more for each other. Just to have a moment where we can have empathy and shared empathy and not just wait for somebody to give us an answer. Just more of that.
Yeah, this is, this is why first of all, why I love you.
I love you too.
We
just
always
out here
have to,
inspiring me.
No, we always have to have our loving moment here. But I will say that this is exactly what, why I get so excited when I have you on, because there's always something so purposeful about what you're doing, right? And I promise you, it's something to be really revered in artistry, because technically speaking, it's like, okay, I got to focus on my craft. I got to do this. Right. But you have always been so connected to like what's going on here. So to hear this entire story of how you got to this amazing benefit concert, right, is, for me, is exactly why I tell people to be a part of the solution. It's like everybody has something to give. And if we're all giving it, we're going to actually see change. We're not waiting for someone to give it to us. We're not saying, okay, yeah, there's things we're owed for sure. I'm not going to ever stop saying that. But at the end of the day, what can I do, Trae? What can I do right now that's going to be impactful to someone else? How can I do that? And I love that you always have that at the core of you, Shaina. It is something so beautiful about who you are as a person. But I love this. And I love that people, all of this community came around. You were able to make those calls and people were like, yeah, absolutely. Like, right? What can we do? And how can we provide something that would be of a great benefit to these families? And as we've said here many a times, oftentimes the families are not uplifted enough, right?
Right.
It's a news cycle, right? You hear about something, you see a grieving mother, a grieving father, on the TV for one segment of news, and you go, oh man, that's unfortunate. And you move on with your life, right? And yet that family, they're the ones that have to bear the burden of that loss and the way that they lost the loved one, for eternity, right? For the rest of their lives, really. And so I love that you're saying, no, we're uplifting them. We're going to do anything we can. And I really appreciate what you say about money, because you're absolutely right. It's in the here and now, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what it is.
It's a communication of the present.
Yeah.
And when we look at stuff like saving, Roth accounts, and it's all about staying present in the future. Cool, do what you got to do. But there are other ways to communicate those things. And it's like, what is the power of footwork?
Yeah.
And community work? When you really, I think we've learned that over the past 2 years, more so than anything, is the more engaging somebody is, or how engaged we can get more people to be about a certain project, that's way more overwhelming than money. Look at what's going on with Twitter right now. The mess. The mess.
Yeah.
But it's just like what you're saying about these families too. We often do find ourselves willing to rally around those who are broken and hurt. But regardless, I think what really, for me, the biggest impact, because these are not people that I know.
Yeah.
I'm not the one that claims people I don't know. What they are to me is pillars of our community, which was the most devastating thing, is how the community is going to be affected by this. The grand plan of what we are building as a team, as a community team. How many people, how many thousands of people have changed the way that they think in this community over the past 3 years because of the work of the people affected by this.
Yeah.
and how that will affect the work. If you think about it as a stoic, devastating. If you think about it with your heart and you move with empathy, devastating. There has to be movement. There has to be some kind of change.
Yeah.
And when being on the road and learning so much about these communities, I was in communities I never thought I would be in. Girl, I was in Provo, Utah, having a good time. Across the street from the Mormon church, I was having a good time. These kids, there's these teenage kids out here completely aware and present and just saying thank you, thank you, thank you for coming here and sharing this thing that I would only see on the internet.
Wow.
Just these kind of places in Austin, Texas, Houston, there was always, and I know that Black media matters here, so I'm going to say this here, but one of my favorite things that I got to experience with was there were very few people of color on this particular tour. That's because people don't know me yet. Also, we were in places that people of color and people that are not of color don't spend a lot of time together in music environments.
Mm-hmm.
But there was always at least one person of color or one woman of color that would be at these shows and just changed my life and changed my perspective about how I make things because they were with me. And I was like, word, it's not about me. I'm not really that special. And that's comforting to know that we could have these kind of, I'm just writing poems, just like she probably writes poems. And she's like, word. It's like how, Reddit used to be before it got ruined.
Yeah.
Like, word, we're just out here sharing with each other similar experiences. I want to have that here at home for myself, where it can just be like that too. So I'm so excited to be at the Neptune. It's like a dream of mine to really headline a show there. It's one of my favorite theaters in the country. Just all of the history in that particular space. It's just I feel honored to be there. And we're not doing the kind of show that we usually do, just like boom pow. We're doing like boom pow.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud of my team and so proud of my guys and so proud of Dana and everybody who's just come in and been like, word, let's just make it work and make it very special and make it like really take it up to the next level. And when that was really happening effortlessly, I had to thank God. I said, thank you, God, for having my back. I had to call my mom. I said, thank you, Mom, for not giving up on me. Mom, I was bad. And then I was like, let's try to give back as quickly and as diligently as possible. And so I'm just going to put all my effort into this that for the next couple of days. That's what I'm doing. Just trying to plug back into the community after being gone, and let's just get the work done. And there's probably way more work to do. Yeah. So I'm just ready to get some marching orders as well.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, something that you said that really struck me was, we saw this collective effort of everybody post George Floyd. Yes. And it was, his heinous murder, and all of us witnessing it, that was like a catalyst for so many to be like, whoa, okay, that's okay. We've gone too far as a country. Right. And yet, there's specific communities, Black communities all over the world, really, who've been experiencing this heightened level of oppressive state. And so the idea that there's more work to do is real. It doesn't end there. And yet we saw tremendous wins because we collectively came together under an idea of thought that was, hey, if we're really demanding for something greater, we can actually receive and achieve something greater. And that for me is exactly why I continue to push the line in that regard. Everywhere I'm at, it is, how do I do something right now that's going to spark the awakening of someone else, spark that idea in someone else that they too can be a part of something grander than themselves.
You're doing it. Look at this.
That's really what it's about, Shaina.
If you didn't do what you do, I wouldn't do what I do. I mean, that's just the facts. I mean, when I am sad and sluggish and want to just focus on myself and figure out what's all the little pieces of myself, I'll go and look at your example. And I'm sure you have times at home where you're doing the same thing. But you get up and you share and you make platforms for us, especially women of color, and you hold space. That is what I want to do too. That's also my birthright. And there's a lot of us that's our birthright, but there's not a lot of support for that particular field of service. But when you see the example, that's the support,
Oh,
to get us engaged. So thank you so much.
oh,
Yeah.
Shaina.
And you too, O.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
This is such a great space. And I love when people come from out of town. They go, whoa, what is this Converge thing? Is yeah,
It's
and
popping.
yeah, we hear it now. I'm
Yeah,
telling
y'all
you, because
popping.
Converge is all over the place. And I really appreciate the team here for being allowing me to have that intentionality in how I approach this entire show. So thank you so much for saying that. And thank you for everything you're doing. This is exciting. Let the folks know how they can come, how they can support, how can they be a part of this amazing show you have coming up.
Yes. We are going to be playing at the Neptune Theater this Thursday, December 1st. It's a host of amazing bands: Fretland, Cumulus, Josiah Johnson, myself. There are amazing guests coming up to share art with us, make music with us. I wish I could just tell you who they are, but you're just going to have to come and see them. The show is going to be beautiful. The gowns, I'm so excited to share this night of music with my friends here in Seattle. And more importantly, moreover, if you are down in support of this effort, please, please support us by purchasing one of these gift bags. We have gifts from QED Coffee, from Farm Boy, gifts from Abbey Arts Collective, just amazing community partners that have come together to just give in the name of good faith and music and art. So you can only get this pack at the show. If we have extras, we're gonna deal with it later. But I hope to God we don't got no extras, child. So go ahead and pick up a ticket and come out and spend the night with us. Thank you.
Oh, amazing. And they can get the tickets where at STG Presents, or how do they get
Yes,
them? Okay.
STG Presents, Duo 6, Do 206. Anything. Ticketmaster as well. You can also just hit me up. Go ahead and look in the link tree link. It's there too.
Amazing. Shaina, thank you so much. And I'm so glad that, we're setting an example here for you, that I'm doing my part so we can all be doing our parts. This is such a great, great opportunity to connect with you as always. Sis.
Always
Thank you.
grateful to see you.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
This is popping.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.